All right, everybody, this is Andreas Hale, senior combat writer at Sport News, and I'm here with the man who's headlining UFC Fight Night in Texas. Marlon Chito Vera faces Cory Sandhagen this weekend. Marlon, how you doing, man? I see the jersey, the Manu Ginobili jersey. Yeah, you representing for Texas, huh?
Texas, Texas, know what's up, bro. You don't come to a territory you're not too familiar with without showing love. So if anybody didn't like me enough, they love me by now.
Man, I don't know if anybody doesn't like you. Everybody loves Cheeto, but yeah, I'm sure everybody in Texas is going to kick it up just a little bit, a notch to see the legend Manu on that jersey, though. I appreciate that. I like it. Before I get into this fight, the first thing I want to ask, I'm a girl dad. I have a daughter. How is your daughter doing?
She's great, man. She's great. The surgery done years ago came out perfectly, and as people can see, she have a beautiful smile on her. So that's just everything for me in life. I could be doing anything now. Like that was it. That was the main goal in my life. So I could retire from living and I'll be fine the rest of my life.
For those who don't know, because it's called Mobius syndrome, correct? That's what it was called.
Probably
And it was basically that she wasn't able to show expression through her face, and you needed a corrective surgery for that.
exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
I'm glad you raised that money. And why? The reason why I asked that is we listen to fighters talk about, oh, I'm fighting for a title, and I'm fighting for me, but it feels like you fight for your family. You got 3 kids, and this was something that's much bigger than just becoming a champion. And how satisfying is it now that that's kind of behind you now in the terms you got the surgery done. Now you can just focus on her health, seeing her smile, and everything is roses for the future.
100%. Like to me, when you start your career, you're making, a little less money. You're fighting for 8-8 or something like that. And to me, back then, I was just like try to win as much fights, take short notices fights, so I can raise my pay, try to find those bonuses. But I never overreaching things. Just going hard at life, just trying my best, trying to figure it out. And by the time things come my way, it will happen. If you really put your heart into things, it will happen. So I tell people, if I could figure it out how to raise that big money to make this a specific surgery, anybody can figure it out because I start from the scratch. It's not like somebody came and paid for it. So like, you know, I just through hard work and really willing to die in the way to get it done, it will happen. So that for me and for my wife, that was a huge accomplishment. And like I told you before, like there's there's nothing that I will ever get in my life, nothing material, nothing that will give me the same satisfaction that when she came out of that room and the doctor say everything was fine.
Man, that's incredible. That's incredible. But you do have a fight this weekend. It is against Cory Sandhagen. It is against an opponent that seems to be tough, and he's talking about, he could knock you out and things of that nature. What do you make of this matchup? For the people in Texas that are coming to see this fight, what should they expect out of you and Cory Sandhagen in this main event?
It's a great fight. It's a great fight. He's a great opponent. It takes two to tango. So I'm ready to go, and I just really can't wait to show my skills on Saturday night. I'm a better fighter than I was my fight before, for the simple fact that I've been consistently working, and I'm ready to go. I'm sharp. I'm mentally in a great place, and I'm happy. Everything around me, my team, everything is in a good spot. We'll be working hard. I just put in that honest work. Effort. Success is in the effort, and I'm ready to go.
Let's talk about it. You've won 4 fights in a row, and you just came off of that big knockout against Dominic Cruz. Would you say that you're peaking at the right time? Do you say that you finally figured it all out and everything's clicking for you, that this is the best version of Marlon Chito Vera that we'll probably see on Saturday night?
I'm heading that way. I'm heading into just become better every step I'm taking forward because when I see the beginning of my career, I was a guy coming from Ecuador with a record of 6-1, never fought amateur, never really get any experience, never really compete any outside MMA, never did amateur boxing or kickboxing. So By the time I was walking to the UFC cage on my first fight, I was probably the greenest guy coming from South America, trying to figure it out. My skills were really low. My heart was probably my biggest asset, and my willing to win and to be there and dreaming so big on when they made it to the UFC. That's why I was crying my way to the cage, because I wasn't crying because I was a little bitch. I was crying because I was the biggest achievement of my life. I would do anything back then to be in the UFC. I was basically fighting for free in South America so I can get a name. I was telling people that don't give me anything, just give me like a poster so I can bring that to any sponsor and get flight tickets, hotels, and don't pay me. I don't need that money. I want to get recognition, and eventually when they call to the UFC. So you know, my beginning in the UFC was a little rough, but I love that because that really made me appreciate where I am today. It was really hard to get out of that center pool and be just like, fuck, how I figured it out and how I can get to the top 15, how I can get those bigger fights, how I can make a better name. And I get it. Where I came from, there's not too many opportunities in this type of an MMA and the UFC. So thank God I figured it out. Thank God I had the right people around me that pushed me in the right direction, and here we are. And now I'm peaking pretty good, pretty solid.
Yeah, man. I mean, you look spectacular, and I think everybody's kind of talked about this. They talk about title implications heading in this fight, but I want to ask you: do you even look at like the rankings that come out each week, and do you care about where you're ranked on there? Because I know, for one, some fighters use it for negotiations, but do you look at it and say, "Man, I should be ranked a little higher"? Because you always are analyzing other fighters and what they're doing.
Yeah, like to me, they put me number 3 right now. There's 2 guys ahead of me. One guy that I never fought in Merab, and O'Malley is the other guy ahead of me. I have a win over him, so somebody will have to explain me how that works because I have no idea. I think it's more like kind of like a popularity contest and kind of like, and who really make the rankings? I don't know who make the rankings. I know for a fact that it's not the UFC. I think it's a bunch of journalists. They get together and they vote. It's like politics, right? Half of the country like one guy and half of the country like the other one. In both sides, they think whoever they pick is the best. Who knows? I don't give a. I go in there Saturday night, drill a hole to his face. I'll be fine.
Let me ask you that, because watching Sean O'Malley get that shot against Peter Yan, it felt like it was a popularity contest, because what did he do at that point to get a shot at the former champion? And I know you don't complain about those things, but does it make you wonder sometimes, am I doing it? Like, what else do you want from me? Because that guy gets a title opportunity because he's popular and I'm out here winning fights.
It's the nature of the beast, right? There's a new TikTok era, the new, I'm gonna try to be a little bit more flashy, talk crazy, but I'm just different, You talk that crazy in my face, I'm gonna throw a rock to your face. So good luck with that. But the other side, the UFC also needs that cloud. I get it. I had that cloud too. I just don't chase it too hard. I don't. I'm not trying to pop up. You know what I'm saying? I just pop up for who I am, and there's a reason a lot of people with me. And you know, at the end of the day, I'm gonna get to the bell, and I'm gonna keep it for a long time. So whoever I have to beat to get it, doesn't matter. I'm healthy. The way I live my life will give me many more years in the game, just because in or out of competition, I'm trying to be the best I can, recover great, eat correctly. I don't have really a nightlife. So, you know, they have to play catch up when I'm just getting better. So we'll see what happens.
Let me ask you about this past week's fight with Yan and Merab. And Merab looked phenomenal. I know you said Merab, if he gets his hands on him, that was the thing, but Yan can fight. But were you surprised at how good Merab looked for 25 minutes with that kind of 47 takedown attempts, the most in UFC history? So a lot of people, they were surprised by this performance. What did you think?
I think it was great. I think he looked good. He put the right pressure, and he have a good will. He just keep going. In the other side, Jan seems like something left his soul. In the Miley fight, he looked a little off, like kind of like he wasn't in the best shape of his life, and that was just a 3-rounder. And now in these 5 rounds, he don't really land anything. Like, I don't know if it's something in his personal life, like we don't know is going down. Maybe he just don't give a anymore. Or, like I said before, when people get money and fame, they don't know how to handle it. Like, who really knows, right? So for me, it's like one side of me want to say the guy, he's a piece of, but you don't know what people lives going, right? So don't kick somebody when he's down. So who knows what is going with that guy's life? So, but he's not looking good lately, and the way he looked in the past and the way he's looking now seems like something is going on.
It does, certainly does, and we never do know. But on the other side, Merab wins, and Ray Longo, the coach of Aljamain Sterling, and Merab said that these two will never fight. They just will never fight for the title. Do you respect that when teammates say, "I'm not going to fight him no matter what," or do you think these two should actually fight because there is a title that could hold up the division?
Right. Well, if they're actually friends, so I respect that, right? Just if you're gonna really keep that friendship real and them both are like real men and they respect that, because I do respect that. Like, if you are my friend or my family, there's no money or something like that that will turn me against you, because it's just the way you should be. You gotta keep it real, but also figure it out on time. Don't make the rest of the people that really willing to fight you, wait. So either go up, go down, retire, off, who knows? But figure that out before it's too late.
Let's go back to this Cory Sandhagen fight. Cory Sandhagen is a pretty exciting fighter. The guy puts on great performances. He had a great performance against TJ Dillashaw, came up short. He got ran over by Aljamain Sterling. Sometimes you just have a bad night and things happen. Do you think that the Cory Sandhagen that shows up for Marlon Chito Vera on Saturday night is going to be the best version of Cory Sandhagen? I know you hope so. You don't want a weakened version of your opponent. You want to see the best version of this guy. And what does that look like?
Yeah, he's a very busy guy. He throws a lot of numbers. He's really tough for the division. So, you know, maybe he don't have the most power, but doesn't matter. You don't to put somebody out. It's not about power. It's about timing and landing in the right time and like that. So he's a great fighter. I just feel like my time is now, and I'm really willing to go really deep if I have to, and go from there. I'm ready to go, and Saturday night is gonna be fun. It's gonna be big.
Two more for you. One, I know you got the Spurs jersey on, but I know you're a big Kobe Bryant guy. Can you kind of talk about Kobe Bryant and what that mentality and what you've taken from that and apply it to your career?
So let's start with this. I don't watch any sport. I'm very blind in that sense. Like, I don't. For me, I'm so focused on MMA that I don't call a friend and talk about a basketball game or a golf game or a soccer game. I don't know. I just don't follow anything. I'm so trapped on winning fights that that's my life, right? But on the I always go in YouTube and kind of like find. Sometimes I listen to somebody that I never heard about it, but whatever he's saying with my mind and I like what he's saying, I just go on it. And can be a truck driver or Kobe Bryant, right? And when I started hearing the way he talks and the way he pushed himself and the way he blocked his mind from the world, like going to a concert, going to a game, just 6 a.m. train at noon, train at the afternoon. Like, I was like, he's like an older version of me, just keeping going and keep talking. So, and I like to go when I start liking somebody, I go back on his life and see how he grew up, see who their parents were, and I just I just love the way he talks, the way he give advice, and this is how I see it. He's not really giving advice to people. When he talks things like this, he's just repeating things he wanna hear to remind himself. And I do the same thing. Everybody, I throw something good out there. I hope it helps somebody, but I'm helping myself by saying it again. It's like repetition, and I just really love that mentality of like, really nothing else matters but winning. Winning is not the most important thing. Is the only thing, and I really like that. I really like that.
Last question. Closed mouths don't get fed, and I know you don't typically go out there and call people out, but do you think with the definitive and decisive win on Saturday that it's your time to just call for your shot, call your title fight, or you just want to just let the chips fall where they may? What does Marlon Vera do after the fight?
I call for a title fight after Dominic, so it didn't came my way, but it doesn't matter. I win this fight, I call for another title again. So that's really the goal, right? Like, I'm not just here just to be here. Like, fighting is a that job to do for a living. So might as well go for the biggest and best thing, which is having the belt and have a target in your back and just see how long you can hold it. And I really want to do for a long time. So I'm going in that path, and I think Saturday night is a great day to make that happen. To keep bringing that belt towards me.
I love it. I love it. Marlon, I appreciate your time, man. A pleasure talking to you. And I look forward to talking to you after this fight because I'd love to hear about what you thought of the fight and what's next for you because the future looks pretty bright, man. Good luck this weekend, and thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.